This isn't just WrestleMania. This is a turning point. Careers will be made, legacies will be cemented, and by the time Sunday night fades to black, WWE could very well look completely different. This year's WrestleMania isn't built on just nostalgia alone, it's built on collision. Past versus present, control versus chaos, dynasty versus rebellion, and tonight we break it all down.
Booking sheets and double turns, politics and slow burns, booking blunders, legends made, cities cheered and empires fade, tape trade tales, late night shows, broken noses, borrowed robes, line them up, we call the spot, give you all the weird they forgot. Sheep pop history. Let the crowd go wild on the memory. Every tale, every brawl, every mystery. Step inside the ring with Sheep Pop History.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cheap Pop Society. We're excited to be back again for another week here on wherever you're listening to us. How are we doing, Grandma? It's been a long week.
It has been a long week. It's been a long month, bro. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I'm happy to be here with you again and happy to be alive. And boy, is it not great to be alive during WrestleMania season.
Always.
I would, unfortunately, no Evie this week again. Hopefully, we get her back soon. Other than that, I think we're gonna run down the card, right? Like, we don't really do a lot of the old current stuff, but I think it's important to kind of let all our listeners know that we do watch the current product a little bit. I do have thoughts on what the other guys are doing. Actually, I didn't even tell you this in our pre-show, but what the fuck is AEW doing? They have MJF beat Hangman Page in a pay-per-view. They have him beat Kenny Omega in a pay-per-view, and then they have him job to all 117 pounds of Darby Allin. Sorry, I know this is a WrestleMania episode, but that blew my fucking mind.
I was going to say, it's been a crazy week in professional wrestling. Of course, we've had wrestling on every day since last Sunday, right? You're normal through the week, every day of the week. And then we had, right? And we had Sunday with AEW Dynasty, which I thought was a great pay-per-view. A couple amazing matches on there. But yeah, then Wednesday we had Darby Allin become the new AEW champion. Good for him. I think he's
second pillar to win a title.
Yeah, if I was going to compare him to somebody, it would be like a Jeff Hardy style. Obviously very high risk, high reward. Hopefully.
Okay. Yes, Jeff Hardy. But you know what I was seeing on the internet today, which really pissed me off? They were comparing it to the Foley moment when he won the title on Raw, and the two could not be further from each other because Foley was already over. And it'd be one thing if Darby was coming off a hot win or a hot streak. The guy was as cold as the Mount Everest he climbs. Like, I think
he's over with AEW. He's over with AEW fans.
It just feels like he's over, like Danhausen's over. Like, a certain niche gets him and likes him, but not everybody. Like, if my dad, who would never be caught dead watching wrestling, I was on TV and he walked into a room where I was watching wrestling, which I wouldn't because I wouldn't be watching wrestling around my dad, and he saw, "You are cursed," he would lose his shit. What the fuck are you watching?
Yep.
And that's how I feel with half face painted wannabe Sting. Oh, you love Sting. That's why you like Darby Allin.
Well, it's not even just like Darby Allin. I think you hit it on the head when you said it. Well, it's I think it takes more than the face paint to make him like Sting, but it's just a car crash, and some people like watching that. I think sometimes his matches go too far. He's a little bit crazy, but I don't dislike him. MJF's my guy as far as AEW goes. So I
dude.
didn't like
And
the whole
that
jumping
devil,
out, but
the devil, when he went down, oh, dude, that was.
yeah.
It would have been even better if they had more smoke coming out, like he was going to the level of hell or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe MJF needs to go on his honeymoon.
Well, I think
Or-
he's going to be recording a movie. I think is
Oh,
the issue there. I do hope
then
because
why
he's
not
already
have
kind
him
of
lose to
teased that he's
Kenny
been.
though?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it a lot to do with that. I mean, I guess they just wanted to go in a new direction with a new champion. I think we'll see it play out. We'll figure out what they're trying to do. But um, he didn't necessarily win it cleanly, which was fine. I think that helps a little bit because now
I
MJF
kicked him
goes
in the
away for a
balls or
little bit.
something.
Yeah, MJF goes
Yeah.
away for a little bit, and he comes back, and he challenges for the title and wins it back from Darby. If you
I
look
give
at their
Tony
history,
credit because this is our WrestleMania episode and we're talking about AEW.
yeah, right,
My
right.
fault. I did it. My fault. But it is what
But
it is.
if you look back at their history in matches, that's how most of their matches end. Some kind of low blow and a headlock takeover. There's been like 3 or 4 matches that ended that way. So this was kind of long-term storytelling
Yeah.
over not just AEW, but over even in the indies. It's kind of their thing. So it's what it is. But yes, this is a WrestleMania preview episode, which
Sorry.
is
My bad.
something that's gonna be fun. No, we got to go over what's gone on this week. It's been a
I mean,
crazy.
it is a wrestling podcast, not just
Right,
WWE
right. We are
podcast.
allowed to go askew a little bit.
We just
Hopefully,
block
people
this out
will
real
like
quick.
it. But before we get into breaking down the card, it's gonna be a little bit different this week. There's not necessarily um, a bunch of in-depth storytelling or anything like that we're going to go into. We're just going to break down the card. But before we do that, I want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by Dodgers Tailgate. Before we
Woo!
get back to doing what we're going to be doing with breaking down the WrestleMania card, Cheap Pop Society uh, is very honored to be brought to you by DodgersTailgate.com. If you're a Los Angeles Dodgers fan, looking for the latest news, rumors, game breakdowns, and fan takes, DodgersTailgate.com has you covered. It's a place Dodgers fan goes to stay in the loop. Check it out now at DodgersTailgate.com, where Dodgers fans stay in the know. Speaking
Catch you
of
at the
being,
tailgate.
let's go. I'm ready to tailgate right now. So,
As a good brother say, let's crack open a novel.
right. I think we got a couple potentials here as we get talking on. Let's start with Saturday because that's a good place to start. Um,
What do you think? The match order hasn't been put out, right? So we're just kind of
we
guessing. What do you
have
think is the opening match?
we do have match one on Saturday. Both opening matches and closing matches have been announced for both nights.
Okay.
So night one, the opener, and sorry if I keep looking down at my phone. That's where I got the pictures at here. We've got the Usos and LA Knight going up against I Show Speed and Logan Paul and Austin Theory. That's one that just kind of came together. I guess it was official this past week, maybe last week. Uh, I think it's a fun little match. You got I Show Speed in there, who's another celebrity coming in. Logan Paul, which has been a celebrity that's proven himself. I think there's not much more he can do to prove himself anymore. Um, I I can't say that it's a match I'm looking forward to. I'm not gonna not watch it, but I think that it
This
was
is
a
the free
filler.
match on ESPN.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a filler to get people in there. This is on ESPN2 on Saturday night. So
This is that match included I Show Speed to get. It's like how Todd Pettingill used to have matches for the free for all
yeah,
on the TV channel with the guide, the TV guide.
yeah,
Um, and you're gonna have probably a couple 100 million people tuning in
hmm
because of I Show Speed, which should leverage the rest of the show that people, oh, well, what else is happening on here? but they really have to deliver. They really have to. I don't know if I want to put LA Knight, in the in that match with the Usos. I just don't understand the. I guess it's the whole taking down the Vision or whatever, but is
Yeah.
it really the Vision?
That's kind of what they've evolved or devolved into as far as the Vision goes until everybody gets back. But that's kind of how that started, I think. But it's a way to
It
get
just feels
everybody
like a
on
whole
there.
cluster. It feels like a clusterfuck of events. And
Yeah.
Braun Breaker is cleared for action, so I would imagine he comes in there and has maybe one or two spots. Whether he takes out ISO Speed or he goes after LA Knight or the Usos.
I think
Uh,
that's a
I haven't.
possibility. That
Yeah,
would
it just
be
kind of depends on.
the way
Good.
to get the Vision to win, and I show speed. I think that'd be the way they win. Minus a Braun Breaker interference, I think Usos and LA Knight win. It's a way to get the crowd started off hot, and they'll enjoy that.
I would love to see a stable with Gunter and Braun Breaker. That's like one of those power and speed dynamics that we haven't really seen in tag team wrestling in a very, very long time. I don't know if Gunther wants to become a tag team wrestler, but
I doubt
I
it,
would
but
love to
that
see
that
them
would
in the
be
same stable.
quite the team. I guess by
You know,
proxy we have well, what's your prediction for that match, I should say, before we get moving on?
Paul Heyman's in the corner. I have a hard time. They got to give him one win because I think one of his other guys is losing tomorrow. I don't want to spoil that my prediction for that yet, but Heyman, and then I don't know what's going to happen with the Seth match, and so I would tend to believe that they give him one win, and it's some type of schmoz thing where Breaker comes in and maybe helps his old compadres out and just spears the shit out of Jey Uso. Hopefully, Jay, yeet, no more yeet. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's. Let me put a spoiler, or not a spoiler, a prediction, a a cheap pop prediction. LA Knight turns heel, joins Paul Heyman's group, turns on the Usos.
Well, might be able to get behind him then.
Yeah,
Uh, and maybe Jey Uso gets to take the pin since he's out there beating up random podcast hosts. I don't know.
man, what the hell was up with that? Like, I don't even know that podcast. I just saw it because someone else reposted it. But like,
It's the most entertaining thing
what's
he's done for a while, so I don't know.
serious? Well, no, he's doing Jada Parker.
Uh,
She's pretty entertaining. Um, it's not a PG show, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I want to get behind the Usos. Like, this shit is fun to do when you're in the arena. Even if you don't like them, you're doing this. Like, it's fun. But we were talking about earlier.
I love him as a tag team.
I do too, but it's also I can't understand the fucking word that Jey Uso's saying half the time, and then he forgets his shit, and he's like, yeet, and bro, just write it on your fucking wrist like your cousin. Like, we don't care,
Yeah.
Like, it's just I don't know, man. I'm off the Usos. I really do think they need to go away for a little bit and come back and
Redo.
yeah.
Moving on so again, first hours on ESPN2 on Saturday. So that means we know the second match then, because the other match that's on ESPN2 is the unsanctioned match with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
I think that has the potential of being
that's gonna
a
be a
show
banger.
stealer. Yeah. So, if you're watching for free on ESPN2, that's something to look forward to on Saturday. And then that might entice some people to either subscribe to ESPN Unlimited or at least purchase the pay-per-view if you can even do that. I don't know if you can do that without subscribing or not. I don't know how that works anymore.
They're
But
going for the cheap pop with that match.
Yeah, very much has the potential of being the show stealer. You know, you got it. They've already had numerous times where they've taken each other out. They've made it personal. Um, Drew has his purpose. You know, he's quit the WWE and storyline, of course, through all this, come back to fought two. I, I just think it's going to be a brawl. It's going to be a good old
That's been
fashioned
a
slobber
long
knocker.
that's been a long ass build up too. Like I feel that's been going on for at least 2 months.
Yeah, and so that's been one that's yeah. I mean, they've had a decent build to it. I love Jacob Fatu's just his whole style he has. You know, he's very much a changed man from what he was just a couple years ago. You know, and he's here
Because he's
doing
a
his thing.
criminal.
Yeah, and then you got Drew McIntyre, who, I mean, he's never been my favorite, but I can't deny that he's able to put on, to borrow from Sheamus, I guess, able to put on bangers. You know, I mean, honestly,
Banger after
he,
banger after banger.
yeah. So in my mind, I think we see Jacob Fatu walk out with a win.
I hope so because Drew McIntyre is Evie's favorite wrestler. And I can't stand that. I mean, I think he's very entertaining. And I do enjoy watching his work. And I like watching him tweet. And I like watching him get into real good battles when he's given the opportunity to. I just feel like they're kind of handcuff him sometimes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the ability to, I mean, he has the ability. They just don't give him the opportunity to do what he wants to do or what he needs to do. And I don't know. Like, I think Jacob could probably use the push a little bit more,
Yeah.
or the rub from the win. Uh, but we'll see.
I mean, I think we're still. I would say we're still building towards McIntyre and not Adam Pierce, but the other one, Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Maybe it's SummerSlam. I think that maybe
Well,
that's kind
Aldis,
of where we're going.
not Aldis. What's the other one? It's not Aldis. The other one,
Adam Pierce.
Pierce. He's been getting a lot more physical recently. Some Cody shoulder blocked him into the into the side rail real hard.
Yeah, I saw that. So, you know, that, and I like that. You know, you got general managers that are definitely not just going to sit back and let anything happen to them. But that also gives that little bit of a tease of, you know, are we going to see them wrestle or not? Because we haven't seen either of them really do much of that in the WWE, but they did a lot of that before they got there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, my prediction is Jacob Fatu because I think it's something that's going to help uh, kind of propel him to the next step in his career. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I think Jacob's gonna win the match.
Yeah.
Uh I don't I don't watch SmackDown as religiously as I do Raw because it's just not readily available to me.
Right.
I keep forgetting to record it on the DirecTV. And then with Netflix I can just, go whenever I want.
Right.
But when I do catch up on YouTube or whatever, it just Fatu caught a lot of heat. He was in Fuego, and then I think something happened with his teeth, or he had to go away for a little bit. And so now that he's back, like, got to get that ball rolling, man. You got to start developing new wrestlers. Like the main event is 41 and 47 on Sunday, and the main event on Saturday is 46 and 40. They're not getting younger,
No.
and there's nobody really. Oba Femi, yeah. I just don't know who else. I mean, Braun Breakers hasn't seemed to really gotten better. He's actually kind of gotten worse.
Uh, Trick. I think Trick Williams is getting
I
better.
think Trick, not to use the race card, but I think Trick is like a Booker T level. Like he'll be a champion, he'll be the main event, but he's more of that second tier because he's not the greatest in ring, but his presentation is amazing.
Yeah, and he's just getting started too. I think that's a big piece
Yeah,
of it as
that's
far as
true.
the main roster goes.
That's
Our
true.
next match, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way Clusterfuck match. We got um, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, who of course are the tag team champions. The Bella Twins, Bailey and Valkyria, and then we
Valkyria,
have
yeah.
and then we have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. So of course, I mean this match kind of evolved over um Jackson Legend as the champions, and they kind of were talking a whole bunch of crap. Then you had them interfere in a number one contenders match, and then I don't know how that was the Bellas and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, because I was there for that match at SmackDown. I'm not exactly sure how the other team got in there. I think that was a Raw development. So because I know they were going back and forth on the different shows, but I mean the story's there, which is fine. I just think that four tag teams in the same match is a little bit much to try to
A
follow.
lot.
But again, it's
It's a lot
WrestleMania,
going on.
right? It's WrestleMania. It's a way to get everybody on the show. It's not going to steal the show. It's not, I think that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair could be better suited at WrestleMania, but this is a way for them to have a spot, but not be center of attention. I guess give that spot to somebody else. I don't think it'll necessarily be a bad match. I just don't think that it's going to be on the same level as the others. That's just my opinion. I I think we might see. My gut tells me the Bellas are going to win, which I really don't want, but I think that perhaps we see Nia Jax and Lash Legend retain
Do you think we get a return?
during this match. Return of who?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box because I need something that's going to get me entertained. This is the popcorn match.
Yeah,
Um, Charlotte. I think they're wasting Charlotte. I think they're wasting Alexa Bliss. Uh, Lash Legend just doesn't do anything for me. Um, she was awesome in the Royal Rumble, but she just doesn't do anything for me. And then, I mean, like I said, I'm starting to warm up to Nia, but and then who else is in the? Oh, Bailey needs to go back to the lab and come back as Bailey Buddies Bailey, like
yeah.
with the bright neon colors and the inflatable man and the big butt with the yeah. And then the Bellas. Can we just throw them in the trash already? Like, what are we
I,
doing? They're both in their 40s. Like,
yeah, I think what we're doing is setting them up to be tag team champions because it's a nostalgia thing, I guess. I I feel like there's a chance of retaining or the Bellas. I would like to see Flair and Bliss win just because that's my personal choice, my favorite of the four teams. But um, I think we're gonna see the Bellas.
I think we're definitely seeing a title change. Um, you're going with the Bellas, huh?
Yeah, so I think they'll have take that
I
one.
want to say the I want to say the Bellas are going to win also, but I'm going to go counterpoint with I'm going to take Charlotte and Bliss because I think this match is going to tell us a lot of the direction going forward with all eight of these ladies.
Yeah,
I think Nia needs to go on a run where she's battling like Rhea again and like power versus power, and give me a 3 month program of them two, and then maybe you break up the friends and you do like Alexa versus Charlotte. I kind of like those matches.
yeah,
Uh, And then, like I said, Bayley kind of needs to go for a little bit. I love Bayley. I think she's a great wrestler, but she's trying so hard to be me. It's like you're familiar with Jerry Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
It's like Seinfeld telling Chris Rock jokes. You're not gonna get it because it's like, who are these people? Like,
Yeah.
like he doesn't take anything serious. Just like I can't take Bayley serious. Like as a bad girl, she's just forever. That's just. I'm sorry, Pam, but that's how you were packaged to us when we found out or when we met you.
And that's what got her over. And I think I agree with you. I think it's a little bit stale right now as far as, what is Bailey even right now? Because, we know what we want her to be.
And then they keep playing off her being like psychotic, which is it's sexy, but that's not going to get the kids involved, or that's not going to get the kids like, oh, why do
It's
I
just,
like
yeah,
Bayley? She's
shoehorned
crazy.
her.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shoehorned her into where she's at.
And
Moving on to,
I've never been a Valkyria guy fan. I don't like her gimmick. I didn't like it at NXT. I don't like it now. Um, she's not a terrible wrestler. I think if they stop dressing her like a fairy and let her dress in like her street clothes, because she's hot. She wears these like she wore a skirt with pants like a. Wish we had a woman on the show to tell us what it was. It's like shorts, but a skirt short.
mm.
I'm sure there's a name for it, and someone's gonna tell us and make fun of me. But she wore that one time with some like chucks, and I was like, oh, hello, you're fine as hell. So like, and like I said, like if a girl's attractive and good at her job, like you're more likely to follow her career or like be more interested in what she does. Like if Stephanie Bakir didn't do the Devil's Kiss, I would have never paid to see her at
Yeah.
Survivor Series or like to meet her at Survivor Series. Like that's sexy, that's cool, and then that gets you in. But then you find out the backstory and how hard she's fucking worked and how many federations she's had to go through and how difficult her struggle's been. And now it's like, oh, La Primera, like that's my girl. Like I'm rooting for her. That's my girl. Like same with Rhea. Rhea didn't pass her first tryout with WWE, and she had to come. She came from across the world to join WWE and create the whole persona she's got now. It's like I'm invested. Same thing with like CM Punk. I know his origin story. Like I identified with him. Same with not so much like John Cena because he's always been muscular and like pushed to the moon. And not really even the same with Roman because same thing, he's been pushed to the moon. But guys who've like made it but had to work really, really hard to do it, or were just naturally talented, like Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is 6'1", and he was playing in the land of giants. Like Shawn Michaels is probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And it's because of this match, and it's also because of he's Mr. WrestleMania. He's charismatic. He makes like you know the origin story. It's and it goes back to what I always say. Why? Why do I care? Give me a reason. Bailey's story, going back to Bailey real quick. Bailey, it's I don't know. She got a big butt. Nia Jax, she's related to The Rock. Like, do the backstage promos, do the backstage interviews. Like, take that shit serious like they used to. Like, I want to know why I need to care about you.
Yeah.
And they don't give us that. They don't give us that anymore. It's to the point where you have to like. Good example, Joe Hendry. I didn't give a fuck about Joe Hendry, but then I saw how hard he's working to get up to where he's at, and it's like, this is cool. I want this for him. Like, I want him to be involved. Or Danhausen. Danhausen was working every show you could possibly do. The man just jobbed himself out to everybody, and it got over. The face paint got over. The stick got over. Like Very, very evil, very nice, very evil. Like, and he's been at AEW, he's been at WWE, he's been at GCW, he's been at everywhere in this country. If they were booking, he was taking it. You gotta love that. Like, same thing with Cody. Cody's got a little built-in story. It's not the same, but when Cody was on the Indies, that was the hottest ticket in town, every town that he went to. And it was not because former WWE superstar Cody Rhodes. You're getting the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and he's building his persona. He's building his story. He's building his why. That's that's what I want. I want the why. Give me. I'll go searching for it, but give me a reason. I spent an hour and 10 minutes today looking up old videos of Danhausen, watching his inspiration is Conan O'Brien, if you wanted to know, and watching him get interviewed by Conan. It's fun stuff. Like, wrestling's fun. Keep making it fun. I wish Trips would hear this out because he needs to hear this silly little rant I'm going on. Because it's okay to be vulnerable in life and in wrestling. It's okay. Let us behind it. Let us behind the glass a little bit. And I'm not talking about Unreal because that stage is fuck. I'm talking about, like, let us know about the character or the person, because then I'm more inclined. I bought so many CM Punk shirts that I won't wear, but just to support him because he's my guy. I want him to keep doing what he's doing because he entertains me for 15 minutes a week, because that's usually what he gets, 20 minutes. I'm happy because I get to watch CM Punk do his shit. And I know he's got a time limit. He's not going to be there for much longer. So I want to enjoy it as much as possible. I love chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, CM. Like, if Evie was here, she'd tell you, like, I was screaming. I lost my voice I've lost my voice every time we've seen him. One time we left Vegas because he was at AEW and he was making his return to Ontario, which is a little suburb of LA, right near Rancho Cucamonga, where the Bucks are from. And I had got wind, and I was like, "Hey, they're they're gonna be in town. What do you think?" And she's like, "Let's do it." So we left Vegas early to try to drive to go watch this AEW show to see CM Punk. It was awesome, man. So there's certain, like, I'm sure, who's your wrestler? Who's your guy?
Me?
Who are you traveling to Pittsburgh to go watch?
I drove to Pittsburgh to see Sting, just dressed up for the last time until last night.
Yeah, I know. I was weird to see that.
I guess on
I
TV
saw the
doesn't count.
pictures. But, like, currently, do you have a guy that you're invested in, like, that you're like, oh, he's on, I have to watch this?
I mean, honestly, I think I got a couple. I got Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, as far as top guys go. I mean, I enjoy all of them. I I really enjoy. Um, I wish Kevin Owens would get back. He's a guy for me. AEW wise, I got MJF. I love Jericho. Has always been one of my guys. You know, so yeah, I got plenty that if they're on, I'll sit and watch.
Sorry, I didn't
Balor.
mean to drive you off. I didn't mean to drive you off course. I know I went on a little rant. I probably shouldn't have.
It's all good. It's all good.
My bad.
But Gunther. So there's a bunch of them.
You really like Gunther?
Yeah, I love Gunther.
I met him in Vegas last year, and we we offered to pay his bill. Bad idea. He's like, "Are you serious?" And we're like, "Yeah." We were thinking, oh, 100, $200. He's like, he leans over and he's like, $9,000, and I was like, "I'm good, bro. I mean, I'll buy you a drink, but
Just kidding. Just kidding.
for funsies."
What's that was $9,000.
He had the whole table with Tiffany Stratton and
Oh,
Ludwig and, like, a bunch, like, maybe 5 or 6 other friends. There was bottles on the table.
yeah.
I legit thought, oh, maybe a couple $100. I might put my foot in my mouth for $500, but 9 grand.
Our next match is the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. You got AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. obviously there's a history here that goes not just for them but also for their husbands. So it's fun little backstory there, I think. But it's also um, two of the best women to do it, I think. Um, Honestly, I think it's a little steep to say that for AJ. AJ's solid, but um, she came back definitely as kind of a nostalgia act. Came back with CM Punk. I'm sure he had a lot to do with it, but I think we finally see Becky get her comeuppance over AJ in this match because AJ's kind of had her number.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's unfair to say what I'm about to say, but the reason she's back is because of CM Punk. He wanted her on the road with her,
Yeah.
and that's his wife, and so he's the top guy in the business. You're gonna give him what he wants. She clearly is in great shape. She's got abs. She can still do the damn thing.
Right. I mean, she wanted to
Is
come
she
back,
gonna?
obviously, but she would have never came back if Punk wasn't there.
Yeah, and it's not like they're asking her to do a Iron Woman match. Like, so it. You're right. It's a nostalgia act. She's 35 years old. Do we really need like? I don't
She's not
need her
young.
as champion. I think, yeah, I don't need her as champion. It's nice to see. It's nice to see her pull out the Divas title. Um, but she can come in and do a promo, and it would be the same as if she had a title. So it's not imperative for her to have the title. I think with the whole persona that Becky's doing and trying to be like the female Trump, which I don't think a lot of people are picking up on when she says the whole Sports Illustrated says it, and she references all these other places. Like that's a Trumpism, and I don't think people get the depth of that and how brilliant it is actually.
Mm.
Um, so
Definitely
I
an
think
interesting evolution to her character. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of kind of crybaby Becky, but the last kicker I think is what I would enjoy more. But um, we got to go through those different evolutions, and this is one of them. Just she's kind of the chicken shit heel right now, I guess. So.
I like steampunk Becky.
Mm.
Um, I don't know how that's gonna work because I have a feeling Seth's gonna go baby. So I mean, if they're gonna be on screen together, like maybe this match ends in a handshake and with Becky winning. I
Maybe, but
don't
maybe they're
know.
just not. They might just not be together.
Yeah,
Um.
I'm with you. I think Becky wins
Okay. Cool.
with like a sharpshooter or something.
Our next match is the Women's World Championship match, and again, this is all just Saturday, man. This is all just Saturday. We have
I know.
uh,
I'm exhausted already.
Stephanie Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan. What can I say? Liv's one of the best things going right now as far as women. I think. Just I enjoy her on Raw. I don't know enough about Stephanie Valkyrie to speak even a whole lot on this match, and I know that's kind of crazy because she's a champion, but um, maybe you can speak more on this match. I think that we potentially get a Liv Morgan victory out of this, but also I can see it going with somebody's going to retain their championship at WrestleMania.
I
Maybe Stephanie
don't.
does.
I don't see Liv winning. I see Liv going off and trying to be a musician or like a singer, I guess, or whatever the fuck she's doing. Um,
I was ready to see that.
and they need to have some longevity on one of these titles. Like you got to create a badass, and I think that's what they're doing with Steph Bakir. Like she was hurt during this program. I think she had a broken foot. So she hasn't been they haven't really been able to have her do many matches, but the promos have been intense, man. And then crossing into Spanish and English, like with Dom kind of being the translator, like they're saying some really harsh words in Spanish that aren't being translated correctly. Like, like I don't even want to say it, but like that a lot of them. I mean, I guess I will. There a lot of them are saying like "fuck your mother" and like um "your whore slut bitch." Like they're it's fun. It's
They're
fun. I
letting
don't
them
know.
have it.
They're letting it fly. I don't know how this ends. I would imagine it ends with a devil's kiss, and maybe Raquel comes in and turns on Liv, or Dom accidentally costs Liv the match accidentally on purpose, so he gets more heat. She can go away, do her music career real quick, come back at Survivor Series or SummerSlam. They get a rematch or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm not a better booker than Triple H, but sometimes I feel like I'm a better booker than Triple H.
Uh, they- I like I say I don't really know a whole lot enough about that build to really give a confident guess, but I'll just go opposite just for S's and G's. I'll say Liv Morgan. That's who I mean I like Liv Morgan, so I'll just say that she gets the win there, and you'll go with Stephanie as you said. So next a match I know a little
Shout
bit
out,
more.
shout out, shout out to my guy Izzy, who interviewed Liv Morgan, who I just got to agree to come on our show. So
Nice.
maybe next week we'll have him on and we can
We
talk
could talk
about
a
it.
little bit about it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have Seth Rollins and Gunther. This again, just like the Drew and Jacob match, has the potential, I think, to steal the show. Gunther, I love his like old school, just beat him to the ground style. Seth Rollins, again, not somebody that I've historically had uh, as one of my favorites, but he's definitely a guy that I don't know when he's had a bad match. You know, he goes in and he can adapt to any style. And right now he's starting this face run where he's kind of evolved his character. It's no longer all these flashy colors, which we would normally think of in a face run, but he's just been wearing black since he's come back, and he's kind of the vigilante of justice, it seems. So, uh, him and Gunther, I don't think was the original plan for Mania. This is one of those things where we shift the deck and we see what we get, what cards we pull, and I think it's a good one. I think it's good for business. I For having been something that's changed for the last minute, I think it's a good thing, and I think that we see.
Yeah. How do you end this one?
It depends on what the plan is. I think going forward, I think if you're gonna have Gunther in, is it this year that SummerSlam's in Minneapolis?
Yeah. It's going to
I
be
think it.
Gunther versus Brock.
I think if you have him go on to beat Brock, maybe you have him win if that is indeed in the plans. But um, I can also see this be kind of like Seth coming back from injury. He needs to prove that he is on that level. He can still go just to himself and everybody else. What better way to get him right back into the title picture where he wants to be and maybe where he needs to be right now than to have him beat Gunther, somebody that's run roughshod over everybody for the last however long. I'm gonna go with that. I think we see Seth Rollins pull the upset.
I know we're getting real long winded on all these matches and we're putting too much. We're at like 20 minutes a match. We're going to have like a 4-hour podcast. I will just say this.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
have to
fucking hate
think a
Seth
little bit.
Rollins. I hate Seth Rollins. I also don't like Gunther that much. So if they could knock each other off of the stuff up the side of Earth, I'd be fine. I will agree
They might do
though.
that. I think it's gonna be a stiff match.
I think it's going to be a slobber knocker, as JR would say. Like I'll take Seth also, just because I think he needs it right now.
The more I talked about it, I feel like that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else or
that
Triple
that
H,
works
but
for me, brother.
and our main event now, finally for night one, is of course Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. We know that Randy Orton has Pat McAfee in his corner. I think we end up seeing, and it's going to have to be a late announcement, as in like tonight. I think we see Jelly Roll announced to be in Cody Rhodes' corner because he's been around, he's staying around, he's always seen when these guys are doing their thing, and I think it makes sense. I know there's a lot of people. I'm not going to sit here and say it makes sense for Pat McAfee to be there. I don't like that Pat McAfee was the surprise that we got. It's a phone call because to me it doesn't make sense for it to be him. Like I don't, he doesn't have family in the business and just the way it was set up. But I like Pat McAfee. I think that having a celebrity come in, being involved in the main event, is a WrestleMania tradition. Look at WrestleMania 1,
Yep.
Mr. T. Right? So people that are complaining about all this, just look back at the precedent that's been set through WrestleMania. That's what WrestleMania is all about. WrestleMania is about showcasing everything
Even the
the
president.
WWE has to offer, right? Right.
I know
Everything the
you said
WWE has to
precedent,
offer,
but
and bring in some outside celebrity too. So I'm not mad at it. I just hope that in the end they can make it make sense more so than it does now.
well,
I
the
get the
tea
feeling that
leaves.
Pat McAfee wasn't the first option, wasn't the first choice, and maybe the first choice fell through as to who was on the phone, or maybe it's a red herring, and we see who was really on the phone at the end of the night.
The tea leaves are tea leaving, and something's brewing there. There's a couple of fellows that not aren't normally in town in Vegas that are in town in Vegas. Just saying. One bald one, another bald one who likes to play with his eyebrow. We'll see if that gets involved. I would have to assume the first call was supposed to be to The Rock, and he didn't want to do it, or they couldn't come up with creative.
And that's possible. And and again, I think as the internet wrestling community, we put ourselves in these situations where, it might just be a chicken shit thing, but we're going to try to make chicken salad out of it. So
You know,
we'll see.
Pat reminds me of an athletic version of Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just does. Like it feels like that's what he's trying. Like he's half wrestler because Heenan wrestled
I,
back in the day. He's
I
half
think it's weird
wrestler,
that they're
half
having.
shit tucker.
I think it's weird that they're having somebody come in that, yeah, he's been an announcer and he's had a match or two. He wrestled in NXT. Uh, to have him come in and talk so much shit in a business like he's been doing it his whole life and he's seen it go downhill, I think that's weird. And I don't know what that dynamic is to Randy Orton. I know he's trying to make Randy Orton be like the savior, like he's coming in, he's gonna, rid us of, I guess, whatever's going on right now. But I, again, I'm not mad at it. I think that hopefully it makes sense in the end. I think it's a good business decision. I think we see Jelly Roll in the corner of Cody Rhodes, like I said, but I also think that we see Randy Orton walking out 15-time champion. I don't see another way to end night one than to have Randy Orton be champion.
But you have Cody lose back to back manias.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
And I love Cody. Cody's one of
I
my
do
favorites, but
hear. I
I
love
don't think
Cody
we look
too.
at it. I don't think that we look at it as Mania versus Mania. I think it's what makes sense in the story and the way it's been set up. I think that's who it's got to be.
I would love to see Randy win the title, and I hear that there's some rumblings and rumor and innuendo that the next pay per view is going to be a tag team match between Jelly Roll, Cody versus Pat and Randy. So Jelly has lost a lot of weight. He's gonna have to change his name to something else. Um, I'm with you on the, hey man, you don't have family in the business. You haven't been in the business that long. You probably shouldn't be talking shit the way you're talking shit. But I think that's what's unique and makes Pat Pat. I think that's
Yeah.
because he's done
Well,
it
he's
in
a shit
another
talker.
profession.
Like, yeah.
And
But
he can kind of back it up.
and what with him talking shit, and then you had CM Punk calling Pat McAfee, and kind of throw that out there. So what's coming with him and Punk, or is that just a
So
cock
I
tease we're not
I
going to see
think
anything from?
I think it's very much a cock tease, but I think I think a lot happened that week and Punk had to address it
Yeah,
because there's been like a wink and a handshake with him and Cody. And
yeah,
you know what's gonna
yeah.
suck is we're gonna get Cody and Punk at Mania Saudi Arabia. I just feel it next year.
If
But
they're over there,
yeah, yeah, exactly. It might be Vegas 3 times.
it's
Um, I feel like it was bad timing because Punk had to address it, and he did. And Punk doesn't do anything half-ass. He goes for the jugular, and
yeah,
he went after Pat like you would expect him to. And there's got to be a payoff. There's a receipt coming. I don't know who's going to give it to him, but Pat's going to get a receipt for talking all this shit. But I also think that it's part Ari Emanuel, the guy who owns TKO, that is getting too involved. And we may hear about it down the line, years down the line, like this is what happened, and then it's going to make all the sense in the world for us.
yeah.
But right now, trying to make sense of it with very limited information, like I don't know. Let's see what are we going to get? Like what are we going to get?
We'll see. So that wraps up night one of WrestleMania. Something I failed to mention at the beginning, we had right. There's a marathon there for night one. We also have John Cena announced as being the host of WrestleMania. I think that's pretty cool. It's a way,
Oh,
of
the can't see you,
course, to
man.
yeah, it's of course a way to have him involved. And he's done
Well,
wrestling.
let's
He's
call it what it
adamant that he's
is.
never going to have another match, but it's them
That
trying to sell some last minute tickets, get some last minute interest. That's a thing. But um, I kind of could see this being a thing perhaps the whole time. I don't think that it was, but I could see it definitely being something that they had up their sleeve the whole time. But um,
never say never though, because Stone Cold said he was never going to wrestle again, and he had a decent little match with Kevin Owens.
he did. But I think the difference there was he didn't really get to go out on his own terms necessarily. John Cena did, but
Yeah.
we'll see. John Cena's kind of been very much a man of his word through his career, so we'll see. And
Do you think there's any
coming
other
back doesn't make you a
surprises?
bad guy. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
if you
Yeah.
say if you say you retire and you come back, that doesn't make you anything other than
Kind of a dick because we spent all that money to watch his last match, or I did. Um, do you see any surprises coming?
on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that again. I think maybe we see somebody else with Randy and Pat. Other than that,
Maybe a certain KO.
possibly.
I hear he's
I know the
close.
rumor is Kevin Owens or The Rock. Um,
I hear KO's close. I don't know if he's 100% healthy, but I hear he's close.
but I'm trying not to do what the entire wrestling community does and overhyping it
Oh,
so that I can enjoy
well,
it.
then you also get let down if it doesn't happen.
Right, right. Just like Jericho being in the box. Apparently,
Yeah.
that box got shipped to Dynamite.
The wrong box.
All right, so let's go on to Sunday. Second night of WrestleMania 42 gets kicked off at a match that
Catch your
I
breath,
am
folks.
right, a match that I am very much interested in, and one that I kind of called as wanting it to be this in the beginning, and that is we saw Brock Lesnar walk out and say we are gonna see Brock Lesnar wrestle at WrestleMania, but it's an open challenge, which I thought was kind of crazy. But then yes, we had Femi, the one and only, come out and accept that challenge. and not just accept the challenge, but he has power bombed Brock Lesnar. He's manhandled Brock Lesnar in ways that really
I
nobody has.
have not seen in a long time.
And so it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be match of the night. There's going to be some hard, uh,
They're gonna fucking
some hard
destroy the
punches
ring.
thrown. Yeah, there's going to be some hard punches thrown. There's going to be people get slammed hard enough that would put us in the hospital. But I think that they're going to win or lose. Oba gets over. Right, he's a made man coming in. Brock Lesnar will sell for the people that he likes, and he obviously fucking loves Oba Femi,
1,000%.
right?
He loves. You're right. He loves the guy.
Yeah,
You can
because
see it. You can see him. He was on his back, and he said, "Put your foot on my chest."
right, and I
Like
think this
he's
is,
not doing that just for anybody.
and I think this is his way of almost creating a successor in the realm that Brock Lesnar lives in, which is just completely dominate your opponents. Who
Yeah.
else looks like Oba? Who else is going to have the power and the kind of the authority with that power to just manhandle anybody? I don't see anybody else, right? Oba is essentially, I think, the new Brock Lesnar, and I think Brock Lesnar sees that, and I think we see Brock Lesnar be the professional this week, and I think we see Oba be Brock Lesnar.
No. Yes, yes, and no. Yes, the professional stuff. Yes, Brock gets it. Yes, yes, yes. There is no way in fuck Oba wins this match.
You don't think?
You can't. You can't. This is Brock's retirement tour. And I know go out on your back, but he's gonna lose to Gunther. I don't think Brock loses again until SummerSlam. I think it's gonna be one of those like 25-minute matches where they just beat the shit out of each other. And then it's one of those things where Brock tries to F5 them maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And Oba keeps kicking out, and he just can't kill the guy. And maybe it's a smudge where Brock loses it and gets a chair and just starts whacking the shit. But that also puts Oba over, just like we
Yeah, I
talked
mean, I
about
think
last
no
week
matter.
with Bret Hart and Stone Cold.
Yeah, I think no matter what, like I said, regardless of the outcome, Oba is a made man. But I think that best business there is to let Oba win. But even from that, I don't know where you go from there with Oba, win or lose. Where does he go after this? Because this is kind of like, this is testing to see if he's ready for the big times, and he is not let down. My God, the promo he cut this past Monday, I didn't think that. Yeah, I wanted to see the match. I was excited about it, but after that promo, I was like,
I'm
I'm
so glad you brought that up.
I'm 100% invested in this. And this man, week after week, is becoming my favorite.
He's elevated himself
Yep.
every single week.
He's delivered every
Even
single time he's been handed any possible situation. He has made the most of it.
and there was crazy pressure because Triple H was in the ring with him when he cut this promo.
You're in the ring with Triple H cutting a promo with Paul Heyman. I'm shitting a brick just thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
he went out. He went out
I
there
was
and
shitting a
delivered.
brick doing the video earlier. Imagine having to do that. Holy
Yeah.
Paul's.
So
And then I like the little Easter egg or the little dangle. After you lose to Olafemi, join the Dangerous Alliance. I know he didn't say Dangerous Alliance, but imagine. I mean, Brock can cut a promo with the best of them. Oba can too now, apparently, because I felt the words and
yeah,
I love the cadence he uses. I love that he doesn't take himself too serious by doing this. Like, that's over as fuck.
Yeah.
I like the presentation. I wish they would do more of this in NXT. But I don't think there's any way that Oba wins this match. I may be wrong. I'm probably wrong,
All right. So
but I
I
just
mean, at
don't see
least
it.
that's one thing we don't agree on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So um, we'll see what happens, and we'll tally up. I'll tell you what. Next week we'll tally up and see who's because there's a couple we haven't agreed on. We'll see who has the most, and uh, we'll
Gentleman's bet.
yeah. Um. So somebody else I think that's kind of getting over or is over, and maybe another one of the total packages.
Lex
Trick
Luger?
Williams.
Oh,
Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, United States Championship match. Not one that I had on my radar. I definitely thought we'd see Trick Williams in a match at WrestleMania. I think Carmelo versus Trick would have been maybe a better match. I love Sammy. I don't have anything against Sammy.
I do.
I think that he got put in a weird spot with the fans by being kind of given the United States title 3-4 weeks out from WrestleMania, and I was at that SmackDown, and when he won, the crowd loved it live. You know, it was a great match. It was definitely a great match, but I think then the realization kicked in, at least with the rest of the internet wrestling community, that now we don't see Carmelo Hayes in WrestleMania. My thought was it'd end up being a
I
triple
guess
threat
Mello
match.
does miss.
Yeah, Mania. He misses Mania. So I think that again, to me, I thought, and I remember talking to my friend when we were there, like that's going to be a triple threat match because they're all three out there doing their thing. But regardless, it's not. I think Trick Williams wins. I
Yeah,
don't really have a whole lot else to say about that one.
I just don't like Sami Zayn, so I'm gonna go with Trick. But I think it elevates Trick a little bit more, and
It
then
does.
maybe we get Carmelo after. I don't
Maybe he
know.
gets a rematch against Trick, but Trick is so the way Oba is over on Raw, Trick is
Yeah,
over like that on SmackDown. When his music wasn't on for 2 seconds, everybody was on their feet, going. They went banana. They
is
went
that whoop
crazy.
that trick? Whoop that trick?
Yeah, whoop that Trick.
That trick.
Yeah,
Whoa. Okay.
they
Because
went
he's very similar to the kid on AEW that used to be at NXT.
Swerve
With
Strickland.
the yeah,
I love Swerve.
I love Swerve too, but they're very similar.
Yeah, they are. I agree. Very kind of similar presentation.
Yeah,
And well, not even necessarily present. Yeah,
you
I
get what
agree.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next match will be the WWE Women's Championship match.
Oh,
Mommy.
I picked Trick, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think yeah.
I just
So
wanted to document it.
we both get Trick. Next for that, well, for the women's title match, I've Jade Cargill has not delivered. She looks the part. I think eventually she'll be able to act the part, but she doesn't have enough experience. Um, Much like in AEW, I think she was given the title based off of the fact that she looks like if you were, hey, go create a women's wrestler, she'd be one of them. On the other hand, Rhea Ripley would also be one of them. So, aesthetic wise, this match looks like it could be great. I just think that Jade's lacking on in ring stuff. I want to see Rhea win this. I think Rhea will because Jade's like not ever defended her title because they have to be careful with who they put her in there with. They're building with I don't know what the name of Jade's alliance or whatever is. They've been building Rhea versus them three. I think when we have it one on one, I think we see brutality come out on top.
This is my brutality. I mean, I'm a mommy fan, so
Me too.
yes, please.
Maybe
And
that's why.
Jade's been such a disappointment. And I don't know if it's her or the booking. She looks like $1 billion. She looks like a Greek goddess. But then she has to wrestle because it's
Right,
wrestling, it's not
right.
modeling.
And then the bell
And
rings. Right.
yeah, and then it's like, and then she's so over the top with trying to. You know what it is? She's trying to play a wrestler
Yeah.
versus being a wrestler.
Yeah. And and I honestly think she was set up to fail from the beginning, not just of WWE, but AEW. Again, if I were to pick somebody out of the lineup that says, show me a women's professional wrestler, I'd pick her, right?
A
She'd be
million
one of the
percent.
people I pick because she looks phenomenal.
Her
I
best
I
program
would
was with
not
Randy Rhodes.
eh, I would not fuck around with Jade in a, she could throw me
In a
around
dark
right now.
alley? Yeah.
Yeah. But um she just needs to work on the in-ring in my opinion so that because when you are that character, when you're supposed to be better than everybody else, when as fans we can see through that because when you start wrestling, kind of you can see the cracks in the armor if you would. Uh, She doesn't believe in herself, so how are we going to believe in her? If that
Yeah.
makes sense. That's what I'm trying.
Did you, on your circuit, did you ever deal with somebody that looked like $1 billion and just, because we, in baseball, when I played to the college level, it was $1 million arm, 10-cent throw.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there was plenty of people that they look like $1 million and that's why they got booked everywhere, right? They they would come out and
Like all show, no go.
yeah, and we somebody like me that doesn't necessarily look the part, more of the Kevin Owens kind of guy, had to really help get them through the match one way or the other, make them look like $1 million. I remember the one guy that would I'd wrestle every now and again, like he'd come out, he'd get excited, like he'd run to the ring, Ultimate Warrior style, and he'd punch the shit out of you. And that's fine. Like hit me as hard as you can, as long as it's not in the nose, as long as you don't break anything, right? Hard and safe places. That's how we were trained. But um, eventually he got better. But he did. He looked the part 100%, and eventually he could play the part, but he never really got to that part, the in ring part, um, completely down. But
Oh,
um,
she's Ultimate Warrior.
yeah,
She's Ultimate Warrior.
or
Great
Goldberg.
entrance. Great entrance. Um,
I don't even want to say
Good
she's
look.
Goldberg. She doesn't have the
I know. That's why I didn't jump on it with you.
she doesn't have the intensity.
But the yeah, man. I don't know. I just felt like I don't think there's a way Mommy loses this match unless there's interference from like Io Sky or not Io Sky from
Yeah, unless it
Asuka.
becomes three on yeah, unless it becomes 3-on-1. All right, we only have two more matches left. Next
Oh, we're
one.
flying by
Oh,
Sunday.
oh. One that I also called that I wanted to see, and I am super duper marking out about is Dom Mysterio, who I love, versus not just Finn Balor, who I also love, but Demon Finn. It's the return of the Demon, first time since WrestleMania 39 that we're gonna see the Demon. It's
Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you. Are you a little disappointed that he didn't just show up as Demon Finn instead of announcing it?
yes.
I would have
I
I would have loved to have seen him just show up as Demon
Right.
Finn.
So you have Finn who took Dom under his wing. He became the teacher. So this is where the student tries to outdo the teacher, and Dom thinks he's untouchable, and whatever he's done, the buttons he's pushed, has pushed Finn to this point of, like he said, you woke something up inside of me that I didn't think existed anymore, which is great. Classic storytelling, everything like that. But I feel like we were getting that sense that was going to happen. How much better of a reaction, like you're saying, would it have been if we're at WrestleMania, the lights go out, the red lights come on? Like, I just had the feeling it was going to happen anyway, and that's what I wanted to happen. But yes, I'd have been much happier not knowing and it just being a surprise at Mania. But that's not going to happen because we already know, and I'm glad that it's going to be Demon Finn. But um, I think with that, if there's any chance of Finn becoming a legitimate wrestler that's not just putting everybody over, I think he's got to win this match.
Is it for the Triple H?
No, no. It's just another match. It's more. It's just
Just a
about
grudge match. Grudge
yeah,
match.
yeah. I think that. I mean, Finn has lost so many matches that it took him down the card, and he's a guy that doesn't have to be. He shouldn't be there. He can be somebody that helps elevate others.
He was
And
the first Universal title winner.
yeah, and then he got
He
hurt,
needs to
and
be.
then it went to shit.
He
Not
needs to
him.
be back on that level. He
Yeah,
needs to be back on that level, and I agree. A win would do him wonders. It's not going to hurt Dom because Dom's so over in Triple A
right.
that
Well, he's over
it's
here too.
not good.
Like a loss isn't
Yeah,
going to
I
do
mean,
anything.
nobody's going to hold it against him. He just, as long as he sells it, like I got my ass kicked. Like
Yeah,
Finn's got to literally beat the shit out of him. And I'm all about the run-ins and about the help. I think that some female, I don't know which one, is going to come and neutralize Liv because I know Liv's going to get involved. Maybe that's how Cena gets involved because Liv attacked him during his match with Dom. Maybe Dom stops Liv. I mean, sorry, Cena stops Liv.
maybe.
I don't see how that helps anybody, but
Maybe with it
I'm
being
grasping at
Demon,
straws.
he won't need it. I don't know. We'll
Maybe,
see. I'm gonna say Demon. That's my pick for that match.
maybe Raquel decides, not Raquel, what's the little girl's name? She just came back. The girl on
Mm.
Judgment Day. She's a little hottie, thick legs. Can't remember her name.
I can see her, but I can't think of her name.
The Prodigy. That's her nickname, is the Prodigy. Anyhow, maybe she goes with Finn. I would love to see that dynamic.
Maybe.
She can get out of the shadow of Judgment Day. Finn was always had her side. He's the one who brought her in. Maybe, maybe we'll see. I think there's going to be a lot of chaos.
Maybe.
I don't think
I think
any
it's
match is going to go easy.
no. We did. So your pick is.
Demon.
We went a little bit faster than we thought because I may have skipped the second match that's on the uh,
It's okay.
first
Nobody's going to
hour
watch it
on
anyways.
ESPN. So
That's
we
when
got
everybody's going to go get pizza.
right. So we got Oba and Brock opening on night 2 on ESPN. The second match on ESPN for Sunday is the ladder match, 6-man ladder match. You got Penta, who is the Intercontinental Champion, versus Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev versus Rey Mysterio. Wow. This
Yeah.
could be still the show. As far as ladder matches go, Javon Evans is going to pull something out that will have her jaws drop to the floor. Penta is gonna, he can come out and do some crazy stuff. Dragon Lee has done some crazy stuff in ladder matches before. Kind of newcomers for me to ladder is JD and Rusev. I don't know what they're gonna pull out. JD I think is a decent wrestler that can pull out some crazy high flying stuff. Rusev is just gonna throw people around. I think I don't see him jumping off of a ladder or doing anything like that.
I hope not.
And Ray, I mean, once upon a time, yeah, but now he's gonna play it safe because he's been wrestling for 907 years. But uh, um, but
That
seriously,
feels exact.
I think that's where we see Dom go after this. I think Demon Finn beats him, kind of gets Finn away from Judgment Day, and then you see Dominic go with Rey Mysterio, and by the end of the year, be the one that retires him because that's what Rey Mysterio wants. But as
Which would
far
be
as the
dope.
Intercontinental title match goes, I think we see Penta keep it. This is the title I think that we see stay.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And I think it'll be a great match regardless. But at the end of the day, I don't see Dragon Lee being IC champion. If anybody, maybe Javon Evans.
No, he's in there because he's
Or
bouncy.
yeah, or if Rey Mysterio somehow pulls out the win, that's a nice little feel good. Like, hey, look, Rey Mysterio wins the title, then Dom takes it from him, takes his career. I don't know, we'll see. But I think Penta. I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think as soon as Penta loses the title, we're gonna get the Lucha Brothers because they're
I've
both
been
healthy
waiting
now.
on that since they've both been in there. Ray
Yeah,
Phoenix and Penta together is absolutely
the
money.
timing's just been off. The timing's been off.
Yeah.
Can we talk
All right.
about the best match of the weekend?
The main event,
Hold
and
on.
it's for real this time.
Best in the world. It's covering time.
So
I don't want to
now
get
we
caught
don't
in
have
copyright.
to move the benchmark of what a WrestleMania main event is, since he was not in the main event last year. As much as I love him, that drove me crazy. Yes, night one main event is main event, but you're only halfway through. The main event, World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk versus
Excuse me.
Roman
Excuse me.
Reigns.
The Second City Saint, the
Best in the
best in the
world.
world. C.
The voice of the
M.
voiceless.
Punk. Yes.
One I haven't heard for a while.
I love the voice of the voiceless.
And responsible for the return of the WWE ice cream bar.
Yes, sir. The first Paul Heyman guy, or not the first, but the first T-shirt.
Yep. So
The voice of the
this was
voiceless.
a match. This was a match that as soon as it got announced, I was like, okay, I can get behind that. Then CM Punk cut a promo, and I'm like, oh, I can get behind this. Then you had Roman Reigns come in, and it's like, now this has become a lot like the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton match. Like, I didn't know which one was going to main event night two, right? I think it's awesome that CM Punk finally gets that accolade of the legit main event of WrestleMania because, I mean, for God's sakes, the man's been around forever,
Deserves
and
it.
he's
He
yeah,
deserves it.
I agree,
Against
and
the guy, too.
yeah, um, and this would be Roman Reigns, I think, his first time going for the world title, right? He's always been the WWE champion, so that's an interesting twist that we haven't seen. But the weird thing to me was that the only thing Roman had against Punk was that he's old. Like I feel like we could have
And
found
that
other
seemed to
stuff.
trigger the shit out
Yeah,
of Punk.
right, and that's weird to me. Like of all the stuff you could do to kind of
I think
build a
that
story.
I think him and AJ vetoed the usage of Larry because
Yeah, yeah,
if you
I
want
did
to
see that.
get
I did see
you
that.
want to work you want to work Punk up, talk about his recently departed dog.
Yeah, and it's I
Then
get
it's
it's too
go
soon
time. I
for
think
him.
and I thought I saw it coming because Punk brought up Alpha,
Yeah,
um, Roman's dad dying, and I thought, oh no, I don't want to hear about Larry dying. But they stayed away from it, and then Punk apologized on Monday,
yeah,
which is obviously mind games. That was a really good promo,
Mhm.
and uh, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch Roman go against someone who's verbally not. Punk's on another level. Roman's very good on the mic. Now, he wasn't always. You know
Right.
that. To have someone challenge someone challenge Roman, it's like this is what wrestling should be about. Like you should be pushing each other to be the best. Like that's what the Attitude Era was. The Attitude Era was very much top that and guys going out there and just killing it. Now it's just like, oh well, we're all getting paid and we all have insurance now, so don't hurt anybody. And it's like to see Punk pull out these different emotions from Roman and the Usos, and it's just been really well done. It hasn't been perfect, but I would say the buildup is probably like an 8.7 out of 10. It could have been a lot better and worse.
Yeah, I agree. And I think well, let's give our predictions here, and then I'll say what I was getting ready to say. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I feel like they're
I
gonna
know
give
what you're gonna
Reigns the
say.
world championship. That's my gut feeling. They're gonna give it to Reigns.
Him being a part timer makes me feel like, and Punk making all the shows and all the houses, and it's like I think they're gonna reward Punk. I think he's gonna keep the title. I don't. I mean, and I'm not. I'm trying not to speak from my heart. I really am. I
That
just,
would it pained me.
yeah, because I can see them giving it to Roman, but I also see someone from their past coming in and altering the match, whether it's Seth Rollins, whether it's Paul Heyman, whoever else is in,
Uh,
or maybe someone we haven't seen in a long time.
Maybe. I really hope we don't see. I I like for the main event to be cut and dry WrestleMania. Like this is what it is. Come out afterward
Yeah,
and celebrate or whatever. But especially
that
with
killed
some of the stuff we've
WrestleMania
seen before.
39. I hated WrestleMania 39 when Cody
Yeah.
lost
Yeah.
to Roman because of Solo.
Yeah. Well, we have all of our predictions kind of in the bag right now, so we got to wait for the next 48 hours to see what we got right, what we got wrong, and I'm regardless, I'm excited. It's WrestleMania season. It's always a lot of fun. This year's a little bit more fun because we got this going on, right? I
100%.
I love this.
And
And
are
this
we
is
gonna try to go live for Mania, or live watch, or at least one of the nights, maybe night two?
potentially we'll see how
Okay.
that goes. Um,
Maybe look forward
I'm
to that,
not
guys. I'm sure we'll post it on our socials.
right. I'm not against that, obviously. Um, I think overall, and I'll give you a chance to talk on what you feel about this, and maybe we can give it a rating. But I think at the beginning of the build for this WrestleMania, we come out of the February pay-per-view really kind of like what's going on. We don't know really any match and we were what we all thought was kind of late in the game and we knew the title matches. I think for what everybody was saying, it's we're behind the eight ball. There's no build. This WrestleMania is gonna suck. Like all the stuff that you saw out there online. I think we've ended up with a very, very solid card. Um, with all the injuries that happened, the changes that have inevitably had to occur because of that. I am excited for this WrestleMania. There's very few matches on there that I don't want to see. So to me, yeah, maybe the build, yeah, there's things that could have made more sense, but I think overall we kind of got the best that we could have got from the point that we didn't really know what was going on. So I'm not mad at anything. I'm gonna sit back and try to enjoy it as a fan. And you know, yes, Pat McAfee's there. I get it. And, uh, maybe something could have been built better. That is what it is. As a fan, I'm excited. I give the anticipation for this year's Mania, for me personally, maybe 7.5, 8 out of 10, which is better than the like 1 out of 10 that we kind of all assumed it was going to be. You know, they had a long build. There was a long break in between the two pay-per-views, and I think that's what kind of threw us all off, was we didn't realize that it was going to feel like 3 years between the two pay-per-views, or PLEs. That's my take on it. I'm pleasantly surprised going into this weekend.
I'm with you on that. I can't wait to watch Unreal to see what the hell actually happened.
Oh yeah, so much.
Because this is what Unreal was made for. The build was off from Survivor Series. A lot was happening, and then Cena kind of ruined all of last year because it was just the emphasis had to be on him on a lot of things that maybe wouldn't have normally, and it changed spots. And then a lot of injuries this year. Braun Breaker getting hurt, Seth Rollins getting hurt, Rey Mysterio getting hurt. And they may not be big, huge guys that got hurt, but they were. I'm sure they were highly planned to be major players in what was going to happen this year. So the fact that Punk gets his main event, night 2 main event versus Roman Reigns, you could have put me and you against the corpse of Paul Bearer, and I would have been like, yeah, this is still a great pay-per-view. But objectively speaking, I don't know. We ran down a pretty good card. There's only like 2 matches, one each night, that I'm gonna go get dinner during.
Yeah.
I don't want to say them out loud because I don't want to get canceled, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. And everything else, I kind of want to see how it develops, and what I'm actually more entertained to see how accurate you and I are.
Me too. I think that'll be a fun little thing to look into.
And I think that by Sunday night, we're gonna be like, wow, that was a pretty good pay-per-view, or that was a pretty good WrestleMania. I don't know if we're gonna say, oh my god, what an amazing WrestleMania, but I think at the end we're gonna be like, you know what? When we record next week, it's gonna be like, that was a pretty good fucking WrestleMania. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I agree.
I hope.
Out of 10, what's your anticipation? Out of 10.
My rating is all off because I was gonna go, and then certain things in my life came up and happened, and it kind of made me not want to go anymore, and don't really want to get into it on the show. You already know, but so that takes it down a couple numbers for me. Obviously, if I was going in the same manner that I had planned to initially, I'd probably be hyped up at like a 9 because of Punk, and I really do want to see what happens with Orton and Cody also, and the Oba Femi match like that. There's a lot of good shit, as Vince McMahon would say. Shit. 6.5 out of 10, and it was trending 1 or 0 out of 10 in right after Royal Rumble. So they made up a lot of ground. I don't know. Maybe my rating might be a 9 on Sunday night. Who knows?
Right.
Tune into our live if we do it, and we'll give you a live reaction and live rating, and then we can talk about our show next week.
So that's the card. I think that. Well, before we get out of here, 4 for the 4 horsemen. We'll do 4 because there's so many matches. What's the 4 matches you're most looking forward to at WrestleMania?
Like in order?
Not really in order. Just the 4 of the matches that rank as your top 4. Maybe not in any particular order, but just.
Well, Oba Brock, Balor Mysterio, Punk Reigns, and it's a top. I'm gonna say Liv Morgan and Stephanie Bakir.
Nice.
Mix it up a little bit because
Yep.
I really do want to watch that match.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit boring here because we're tied on 3 of the 4 there. So Oba and Brock, of course, that was one that I said that I wanted from the beginning, and it happened. Maybe that's why I'm so excited about this. Like matches that we didn't know if were going to happen or not ended up happening. Demon Finn versus Dom Mysterio. Punk and Reigns. Part of me really wants to say the ladder match, but just some of the people in there doesn't really jive with me, I guess. I guess my 4th spot would go to. Looking back on Saturday because I didn't pick anything from Saturday. I'm gonna say
Cody.
probably. I mean, just based off, I've always been an Orton fan. I love Cody, but right behind that's got to be, I guess, the Drew and Fatu match. But yeah, my 2 title matches: Dom and Finn, and then Brock and Oba.
It's a hell of a 4. I can't blame you.
But
because I had
anyway,
3 of them.
right. So we'll throw that in there. We of course didn't have a word of the week this week just because we were focused on the WrestleMania card. If you're still listening, down in the comments below, let us know what your predictions are. If you're listening to this before WrestleMania, if you're listening to it after, let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know if your predictions did come true or not. Right? If you think we're full of shit, let us know that too, whatever it is. But again, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share it with a friend who loves wrestling as much as you do. And remember that the stories, they do not stop here. Until next time, keep chasing that cheap pop, my friends.
Hey,